me not to go so fast. Slow your roll down, baby. He said, Daddy, my little girl. She ain't no cruiser like I am. Well, you know she ain't the one. You got to ride for a ride. Now why you wanna do it, Daddy? If it was me, how could you help me? Oh, baby, please, please, please. How did you get me down here on my knees? Well, you know she ain't the one. You got to ride for a ride. You know my heart's all out of room. You wanna love that little girl. By all means, honey, do. Well, you know she ain't the one. He said, now let me tell you how. Buy you new appliances. I wanna take you out. Better home Messiah says I wanna take you out. I wanna meet you here. I wanna take you home. Tell me where it is. I go back when I wanna. Don't you ask no question. Me and you forever, baby. You and me together, baby. I love you, baby. I wanna take you out and just get you. I wanna get you love. It's not in heaven, baby. I wanna get you love, baby, baby. Be together. I wanna get you love, baby, baby. Be together. I wanna be with you together, baby. You and me.
Hello, 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 and welcome back to another Apex This Race with very shiny Lamborghinis here at Zolder for week 5. We are into our 10 minutes of solo qualifying. Currently watching Russell Elizondo, who stacked up 6th at the moment, 4 minutes into our qualifying session. I'd like to welcome everybody for joining us today. Just a nice short grid, only 12 drivers in the lobby. Can't tell if this is going to be the best or worst race of the season. It could be a real banger or a snore fest, but we will be sure to check it out as it comes. Nice short lap here at Zolder. Not too many turns. Lots of time to think and forget where you are and make a mistake, as it's a little monotonous, but it is a challenging little thing that will catch you out. So let's take a quick peek over at those best times. Craig Tessiter getting into the mix with a 128.9 as Russell and Ken battle for that last spot at the moment. Chad Sosnowski a quarter second up on Corey there, but then Justin Atchison is going to take that final spot on the front row away from Corey. Halfway through the 10 minutes here. Only driver out there still to lay down a lap is Tom, and here he comes down the pit straight. It's not going to be a clean one for him, even though it's got a couple personal bests out there. You know what I was thinking about Zolder, which I really like, is the same that I kind of like about France. the GP circuit we watched today, but there's about the only thing I like about France, to be honest. I am one of those haters. Is that the final and first turns are in opposite directions, which is kind of rare. And so it has you cutting across the pit straight to the other side to line yourself up for the left-hander of T1. Little wiggle there for Justin. Really pushing it, sending it through that chicane. Really pushing hard, but it's not going to better his time. He's currently sitting in third, and Corey and Chad feel like they've got that front row locked up. Kent also in the pits. Comes Robbie Campbell with a killer lap. That's going to put him to the inside of row 2. And right at the death, Greg Tassos has decided to come see us. That's very nice. Tom has set a time on the board, and he's going to better that time with a 1:30.343, but it's not good enough to get off of bottom spot. But we'll see if Greg Tassos is not even going to have enough time to complete one as he comes around the hairpin. And it's good to see some of those lap times a little bit closer up towards the top, as this is a spec fixed series. All the setups are the same, and all the sprint setup is what we're using. And while we just have a few seconds remaining, we have a track temp of 75 out there. Ooh, Greg getting a little wide on that exit. 64-degree air temp. We're in our 10 minutes of solo qualifying, followed by our 40-minute race. We have a 10x. Will earn you a pit penalty here. Very harsh, and a 44% fuel limit. And we didn't get to see it there in anybody's qualifying runs, but this pit entrance is a little awkward before that final chicane there. And it's quite narrow, and hopefully everyone has practiced that one because it is a little awkward around here. And you may notice that Russell Elizondo here is running the same paint scheme as Chad Sosnowski on pole position. So try to keep an eye on that and don't get any more confused than me, or else you're going to be in big trouble. Quick peek back at the track temp, which is raised up to 90 degrees here. Air temp actually dropping a little bit. And everybody in the way back there hopefully finding their way as Steve Zirapo, who is actually, we will get to that later, or maybe we have enough time. Oh. I get the Lambo because that's the wrong file. Oh, Steve Zirapo currently sitting in third place. These are not the right points. I just updated the points just a minute ago. Why are you gonna do me like that? Why are you gonna do me like that? Anyways. Nope. Well, I just spent half an hour typing in numbers next to names. Love it when it pans out for you. Just enough time as we're about to go green here.
Green, green, green.
And Chad Sosnowski goes door to door with Corey Mitchell, who's trying to have a look down the inside. Everyone else further back making it through. Chad's still suffering with Corey to his outside, who's going to pester him all the way through. T2. Justin Atchison defending, sorry, he's on the back of Robbie Campbell there for the final podium position. Everybody coming down to the first chicane for the first time and making it through. That one can be a little crazy sometimes. Up over the hill. Lose a little bit of your traction, tuck the nose in, try to carry a little bit of speed and hop through that thing. Easy back on the gas as your rear end dances around, back up over the hill, headed down towards the hairpin. And what a miserable camera angle that is for us. As it looked like Greg Tassos making that move on Tom Jenkins down into the chicane. Oh, that's not the camera angle we want as the leaders bring us across the line for the first lap completed. No casualties as of yet. Nobody wanting to trigger that 10X early on. Justin staying with the leaders, as you can see on the intervals there. The only gap over a second is this one really for Russell here. And it's 1.6 back to Tom Jenkins and Ali. Steve Zirpo still bringing up the rear, getting to grips with this track or something. I don't quite know what's going on for him. As Corey Mitchell is just about to lose touch with Chad out front. Chicane. That's where Chad is losing somewhere in the final sector there. Chad losing a bunch of time to Corey. Now back under a little bit of pressure. Greg on the back of Craig. Craig on Craig Prime. And then Ali trying to put some pressure on Tom. Going into T2. Just pushing him wide out onto those really mean curbs out there. Looks like Russell Elizondo has had an incident and he's getting passed because of it. Let's see if we can't just back the tape up because it was so recent. Oh, and he just puts a little bit wide onto those big curbs I was just talking about, how nasty they are. And oh, they will unsettle your car, and he loses a ton of speed there. Going back live with him, he's bringing up the rear of that Craig battle. Chad still up top with Corey Mitchell and Robbie Campbell in hot pursuit. Justin Atchison still keeping in touch with these guys. Kent Kruger is bringing up 5th place at the moment, so your top 5 are as you were. Craig Tessiter has made up 1 spot, and that was getting past Russell. Greg Tassos making up 2, one of them being Russell. Then a little gap back to Tom Jenkins, who's still being hassled by Ali. Trying to find some room to the inside, but I think he just compromised his exit with that move through T1. Robbie right up close with Corey, and they're gonna bang doors. Robbie's gonna find a little asphalt, luckily for a different layout. Or that was the that was actually the pit exit there lane, saving him a little bit from something really catastrophic. Justin doing a good job to keep in touch is going to pay dividends, as he might even pick up 2 spots here as these guys start to tussle. That gap to Chad though starting to grow as these guys banging doors 2.2 down the road. And there goes Robbie Campbell out of nowhere, getting from off track back up to 2nd place. And Corey Mitchell is down to 3rd. That was an incredible move. What guts. Felt hard done by somewhere. And thought, you know what, I'm gonna get this place. Corey, not wanting to pick up any more incident points, just decides to let it go. Tries not to hit him in the 2nd chicane. What a move. Take a bow, Robbie. He's representing Canada hard. Now he starts a nice little train of cars as Ken Kruger has been able to close because of all that fighting. And somewhere Greg Tassos made that move on Craig. Oh, it's coming around T5 there, I think. Into that chicane where Robbie did the same. And Robbie already with a second gap on Corey. And Ali with the, oh no, that was him getting passed by Steve Zeropo, because it looks like he had an off track of his own here. Let's see what happened. And it was into the sand trap out there and into the wall as well. We're going to go back live because we have some great battles going on here. And Justin Atchison somehow all the way back in 6th place, getting swallowed up by this second pack here. Let's see what happened to, oh, and Justin onto the grass, and he's going to lose 2 spots as a result. Greg Tassos almost getting greedy down to the hairpin to almost overtake Kent, but decides against it. Back live with these guys, still the battle rages. It's just as good live as Craig Tessiter now wants to make up that place on Justin, who obviously has a little bit of pace back up top. It's Chad running away with it. 3 seconds now to Robbie Campbell, who's starting to reel him in perhaps a little bit, or just stay with him. Corey Mitchell is 1.1 back, and he's finally got a little bit of breathing room. And now Russell Elizondo bringing up the back of this little train. I thought this might be some really boring or great racing, and it looks like we're having the latter at the moment. Things might cool off towards the second half post pit stop, but these guys are enjoying themselves for now. I know this must be fun in these little packs of 3 or 4, 5, 6 drivers when they get like this. Kent Kruger now defending into the hairpin. There's not a lot of great overtaking spots here, so they will stack up a little bit like this. And Greg all over the mirrors. And Greg is trying to put a bumper down the inside. Maybe not, maybe just trying to avoid him. He definitely lost a little bit of time there as Justin Atchison trying to get back through this pack. He's going to try to get one here. Back on Greg Tassos, but Greg's going to cut him back off and come out ahead in that battle. And they're going to lose touch with Kent just for a moment there as Greg almost touched Kent's rear bumper. And back through Steve Zeropo and Ali. Still very tight here. Steve has had a mistake somewhere and let Ali back past Chad Sosnowski's lead. Starting to get chipped away from 3.5 or whatever it was down to 2.8 now. Greg trying to go back to the inside and just put Kent off a little bit. He's going to tag those evil curves on the outside. Down just a touch. And none of these places are natural passing zones at all unless somebody makes a mistake. just trying to compromise Kent's line, see if he gets a little squirrely with the throttle or something, see if he can't make a charge, but being pretty respectful about it all. Robbie Campbell, I mean, I was about to say Chad setting 128.1, and then Robbie coming through, but it wasn't the fastest lap of the race, and I said, okay, and then I saw Robbie Campbell just eating away at that lead down to 2.4. He just has to keep up this pace, and he will catch him no problem. 12 minutes down. Oh, and there goes Craig Tessitore. Turned around. Let's see what happened. So he just gets a big chunk of the inside curbing. Oh, he gets lifted up over those little raised curbs. It's going to send him around. He does the right thing by using that momentum to get back off of the track. But that's unfortunately going to promote Russell back up one spot and send Craig all the way down to 10th. Maybe Greg Tassos just needs to be patient here. Make mistakes so easily. Those mistakes will just end your race. Well, not end it, but send you back quite a few spots from this position. That gap for the lead now just barely under 2 seconds. Oh, and Greg getting a little wide there, having to get off the throttle. Chad probably feeling cool for now, but seeing that lead dwindle away, probably wondering how long he's going to be able to keep it. And here is Robbie just hammering through. Just took almost a quarter second out of him in the final chicane there. Down to 1.6 here. Really getting after it. Hopefully he doesn't push too hard and have a mistake so we can actually have a battle for the lead. Into T1, Greg is always so aggressive. And just trying to send Kent a little wide. This super late turn in. Gap now starting to come down. Chad's definitely feeling the pressure, maybe having a few more little mistakes. Laps aren't quite where they need to be. Let's see, it's 1 1/4 coming into the final chicane here. And nearly again taking a quarter second off of him. Around 2/10 there. Oh, and very wide there from Chad. That's going to open him up from an attack as might have started to feel the pressure. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can see how tight that battle for the lead actually is. Robbie getting a little squirrely over those curbs. He's just gotta wait and be patient here. Chad is obviously starting to feel the pressure. Robbie obviously has the pace to close up. He's just gotta chill. Going back with Greg here. And oh no, Greg Tassos from that battle has had a crash. Oh, what a bummer. Let's see what happens. It was just actually after we left him coming down in the chicane here. He tries to go in the awkward pits. Let's see what happens. Was that his crash? I'm so confused. Going live with him, he's back out on track, so that was just a him entering the pit lane, actually. Thank you very much, software, for freaking me out. And it's a little bit early for a pit stop, but maybe he feels like that undercut is going to work for him since he feels like he has the pace on Kent. Might as well give it a swing. Kent Kruger also crashing. Also into the pits. Chad under a whopping load of pressure out there. It's a good, fun battle for the lead of a race, though. Let's go to the close-up since we can both see them both pretty much right now. And it's neck and neck coming out of that chicane. And approaching the hairpin, this might be an excellent opportunity, but it looks like Chad's more or less covering off that inside if that were ever a thought. Meanwhile, Greg trying to get his way back through all this work after that spin of his. He's got Ali Ruffin just ahead of him. And here is the move, just getting in his mirrors. He's had an awkward time there, we've seen, with T1. If you hear anything in the background, my dog thinks it is a snore fest, so I do apologize. She's only 80 pounds, but she snores like a diesel generator. And we got a couple more takers for the pit lane as we see Ali take advantage there as well. He's crashing it, apparently. And we're side by side coming out of that chicane over the hill. And it looks like Robbie Campbell is going to get the lead there. And he enjoyed that spot last time. Let's see if Chad has anything to offer him back, but I doubt he will. And already Robbie's starting to make a little gap of it. And Ali really gassing up there with 20 seconds stationary. Oh, and Chad with the hit going into, in the turn of Robbie Campbell, who's going backwards down the pit lane, trying to find his pit stall. I've never seen this one before. This is the move of the season. Oh my gosh, this is not the top 10. Oh my God, no, Robbie. Chad, what has happened? Robbie, are you, oh heavens. Oh heavens, poor Robbie Campbell taking the tow to the end of the pit lane. I wonder if Chad is gonna wait for him as the gentleman that he is. That was wild. I thought Robbie was really gonna whip it around and get away with that somehow. That was something else. And oh no, poor Robbie Campbell is out of this race. He has retired. Unreal. On the lap, at the end of the lap that he took the lead, he gets hit from behind, entering the awkward pits, as I called it. Oh, that is rich. Strange. Very strange. And gets turned around in the awkward pits. Here is Chad exiting just ahead of Kent Kruger. He's way down the order after that whole excursion. That's going to put him back to about 4th place as we see who is that. Greg Tassos go for a little ride just in the foreground, putting him back all the way to 8th spot. Oh, never mind. Russell's going to squeak through as well. He's down the road to the 2nd chicane. Tom Jenkins is in the pits. Craig Tessiter is in the pits. Steve Zirapo is in the pits. Justin has already beat them there. So Corey Mitchell, starting from the front row, being cool, being smart, not trying to bang doors with anybody, is now leading this race. And he might be your net leader after all is said and done. 25 minutes on the board. He should be in this lap. Here's Justin Atchison, who will probably be in 2nd position, I think. Or maybe, no, he's behind Kent Kruger. And he was pre-pit stops. He wasn't. He was stuck in that little train. Chad coming out just ahead of them. About 14-ish seconds, 14 and a half out there. Some of those guys taking quite a long sip. It's about 15 seconds out there. Greg now on the back of Russell here, really putting some pressure on. He's going to maybe try and move into T1. He's not. He's going to think better of it. Corey Mitchell is going to come out in the lead. He's 4 seconds above Chad. We'll see if he's going to be able to hold that lead with just that gap remaining. That's about the gap that Robbie chewed away from Chad. So we'll see what happens there. Kent a little bit further back. Steve Zirapo in a battle. And Chad Sosnowski setting the fastest lap out there of a 1:27.7. Starting to chew up that gap that Corey has. It's down under 2 seconds at the moment. So with 12 to go on the board, let's see if he's able to do it. Looks like it. But again, it's very difficult to pass out here. He will have to wait for his moment against Corey, who is very good at defending that position and putting his car in the right spot. Not a very wide track, as Craig finds out right there. Looks like Russell here with a little oopsie. Let's see what, oh, and he does spin it coming out of T1. Craig manages to avoid him. Not looking pretty for Ali. Look at that shiny front bumper and kapow! And the double tap for good luck. That gap now under a second for the lead as Chad's starting really close. There's about 8 minutes left on the clock. Enough for maybe 5-6 more laps. Lap 22 of Corey defending under half a second for that one. This battle is intense as Justin trying to get back into the final podium spot. Kent has just been promoted through steady driving. Justin Atchison finally making that move on Kent. Let's just go back a click so we can watch that in a little better detail. And Kent, very cautious through T1. Justin, with a lot of grip, decides to send it as Greg is now closing. He wanted to make it happen as Kent has lost another one on this lap. And that is why Justin wanted to make that move happen. So he was not the victim. So at the end of this race, as you can see on the timing tower, a couple of these racers starting to come back together. Pretty lonely out there though. And with 5 to go, the front row switched around and still battling it out. 3/10 between them. Should be a good showdown. Chad wants to get that top spot back. And Chad taking some unconventional lines there, and that's gonna cap off the race for the lead. As I don't quite know what Chad was doing. It didn't look like he had any room for a move. He just sort of got offline there and almost drove right into the back of Corey and had to abandon it. Very awkward indeed, but that battle for the final podium spot is still going on with less than 2.5 on the clock. I think we will have 2 more laps going. That's got to be so frustrating for Chad to do all that hard work and get back on the bumper. And Greg doing all the hard work too, unable to grab that final spot. So that should be 1, 2, 3 for you of Corey, Chad, and Justin. As those battles have simmered off with some folks pushing a little too hard. And there was Corey Mitchell getting the white flag. There is Corey Mitchell coming across the line for the win. He's got to be happy with that one. He definitely had to work for it today. Nobody made it easy for him. Chad, your pole sitter, is going to come through in second. Justin Atchison, great performance to stick it out in third here. I think a special shout out needs to go to Robbie Campbell as well. Hope you're having a beer, buddy, because that was a rough one to watch. Greg Tassos and Kent Kruger completing your top 5 there. And a real big bummer, the real hero here is, I don't know, I am the real hero for somehow screwing up the championship standings. I thought we were finally going to have them, but alas, we will not. Watching our podium winners here trying to figure out a nice place to take their picture. The race results this week were Corey Mitchell and Chad Sosnowski and Justin Atchison were on the podium, followed by Greg Tassos, Kent Kruger, Russell Elizondo, Craig Tessiter, Steve Zeropo, Tom Jenkins, and bringing up the rear to round out the top 10 was Ali Ruff. And thank you all for sticking it out and making a final top 10 for me. Shout out to Robbie Campbell. So sorry about that final bit, but that was oh so much fun to watch. We might have to see what happened real fast. Yeah, was this us here? This looks like the moment. Let's go on board with Chad. And that's how it was done. Poor old Chad goes steaming in there. And here's what Robbie was looking at. Just staring at Chad. Fantastic stuff out there. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We will see you next Sunday. Take it easy, everybody.